I say, why? How's everybody doing out there today? All right, this is Papa G coming at y'all. First of all, saying thank you for taking some of your time out of your day to listen to me as I get this community conversation going. Today, we're carrying on our conversation of exposing the bully. Who is the bully? The bully is child support. The title of this section of the conversation today is They Never Want You to Know What It Is to Be a Father or How to Be a Father. Now, let's just get right into it. Okay? Child support, the Attorney General, the Correctional Facility, the Education Department, all of these people know that if you're a young man and you have this brand new person who like can't feed themselves, can't talk, not aware, all right? And the responsibility is for you to fix the bottle, change the pamper, buy clothes, do all this type of thing. They understand how responsible that will make you as a young adult. They understand that your priority structure would be totally different. You would mature and you would grow into the person that you're supposed to be. So they intentionally strip this responsibility away from you. And they do it in a uniform manner so that you believe that it's happening to the other cultures like it's happening to you. And even if you do believe that, the destruction that's going on in our communities is just too much for us to continue to ignore and allow the status quo to prevail. All right? If you never have to get up and pace the floor with a sick child, you never experienced that, then how will you know what it is to be a parent? Huh? If you never have to change the pampers, sit there and feed and then clean, if you never have to worry about getting your child home at a decent hour so you can feed them and give them a bath and put them to bed, if you're never faced with any of these responsibilities, how can we start to have a nation of men, black men, that are responsible and can be the fathers that we know they're supposed to be? This is intentional. Child support, the Attorney General, the governor, the education system, the correctional facility, all of the medical powers that be, all of the psychological powers that be, they all in cahoots in this because they all will say, hey, this is wrong, but none of them will stand up and say, or bring it to court or fight or do anything to try and right the wrong that's happening to fathers all over, because the goal to destroy black fatherhood is just so motivating, it's so powerful to them that they're willing to lose however many of their own to make sure they destroy us. And black people, I need you guys, men and women, ladies and gentlemen, guys, girls, gays, whatever you are, if you black, we need you. I need you to help me get a petition going. And with us signing is saying that in the black culture, we want fathers to be the one responsible for the male children in the event that a mother and father separate. We do not want the status quo to prevail where we're giving the children to the mother, because we see the outcome of that. All right? We have an overrun jail system. Okay? We have an overburdened criminal justice system. All right? We have over need for police officers. We're over policing our communities. All right? And we're steady ignoring the real answer to the problem and putting all of these fake solutions up. The Boys and Girls Club, mentorship programs, all this other foolishness, when we know that if you give the boys to the father, men don't play with boys, a lot of this would be just turned around on its ears. Okay? A lot of this would be turned around in 10 years. All right? Because you have a lot of these young men that's out here committing crime, they have children. Okay? Their life is so bad that at 15, 16, they'd have made a baby. And that's bad. And we have to get our standards back to where everyone looks at that and says, that's bad. That is not on the path to success. That is not on the road to achieving things. You have sidetracked your life. When I was growing up, people would say stuff to you like, you can recover from this. But they did not ignore the fact that it was bad. All right? So what they do is they start you in a broken home situation. All right? You got the two people that's been separated, and the state step in and say, well, we're on the mama side. So they give custody of the mother. They give custody of the children to the mother. All right? Once they do that, they tell the father he has to pay money. Okay? And they strip the father of all his rights. He can't just come and get the kids when he wants to. Okay? He can't just have free access to them anymore. He now has times when the court tells him that he is entitled to see his child. He ain't done nothing wrong, but he being supervised. Okay? So you got a young boy, young girl growing up seeing this. All right? Automatically, you giving them the wrong thought process. Okay? Because she's growing up seeing that she's going to have to raise her children by herself without the help of a man. She's also seeing the way her mother endures and deals with it. So you got her mama sewing her scars onto the daughter. Okay, so the daughter ain't never been hurt by no man, but she coming into relationships expecting this. Okay? Then you got the son who's seeing that men come around, do what it takes to be able to sleep with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever he do while he there. And then he may make a baby or may not make a baby, and then he's gone. So this is what they see fatherhood to be. So this is what they grew up and imitate. If they saw their father get up early in the morning, go to work, come home, it was with the family in the evening time, that's what they would imitate. But child support don't want that. The attorney general don't want that. The correctional facility don't want that. The school system, the education department, they don't want that. Okay? Nobody in society wants black males to be fathers of their sons. They only pay lip service to it. Because if they felt that way, legislation would have been passed long before I come along saying, hey, let's get some legislation together to protect fatherhood. Because of the neglect that's been going on to fatherhood, our country is running amok and is infested with crime and debauchery and all type of thing because we have a broken family unit sponsored by the state and child support. And child support is the #1 bully because they step in every situation, okay, and make themselves necessary and put money into the situation. Okay? When if they were really interested in the child, they would be doing everything they could to make sure that all of the other things were taken care of before they worried about money. But the only thing they care about is you give some money and don't you come around no more. Okay? So now the boy has no examples, has no clue. No clue. Okay? So he grows up. He gets a girl pregnant. He don't know what it takes to get her to follow him and be down with him. And the two of them go on and raise a family together. Because she's already been poisoned by the way she was raised and watching no father be in the home and what men did to her mother. Okay, he's already been poisoned as to what his role is. And here's the killer. Here's the killer. Because it's been neglected so long, not only do men not think along those lines think along the same lines as a parent would think, like the woman is maternally thinking, okay, because she knows she's going to receive the full burden of the children, okay? Not only that, but they have no clue of what it takes to do the job. Like, your kid can act up from the first grade to the ninth grade. You can't quit. You can't quit. You know, they have no clue what it is to be a parent and the sacrifice that it takes to be a parent, because the state has alleviated them of all responsibility. If you have no male role models for children to study, right, then how they gonna act like a male when they grow up? Because I used to pay attention to everything my daddy did. You see what I'm saying? So I could see what a man do in this situation, what a man do in that situation. Well, if the only person you guys should look at 24/7 is your mama, I mean, I don't even need to beat that horse no more, do I? All right? So, you know, child support is modern day Jim Crow with a PhD on steroids. Okay? We have to attack this system. We have to attack this system from both the male and female's perspective. And we have to understand that you guys have been in business long enough to where you should have brought it to our attention that it was time for a shakeup. It was time for some twerking. It was time for some improvements, because based upon the numbers of what y'all had been doing, you know, that it was time to try something different to get better results. Okay? You guys knew that. All right? But as long as you guys could keep doing it and nobody's being the wiser, nobody's paying attention that child support literally have their hand on every every separation between a couple in America. Do you realize how big that is? Do you realize what a revenue generator that is? A revenue generator to cause enmity between a man and a woman. This system has not been upgraded, improved upon, has not been modernized. Nothing has happened to this system since it come into existence, except it has enhanced its predatory practices. It has gone from being an organization that could say you owe child support to being an organization that now has the power to take your freedom, take your ability to make a livelihood. But it says that you had the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is what it said, right? And in order to commit a crime, you had to have an injured party, one that can complain. Okay? That child ain't complaining. And the court ain't got no business in marriage, because marriage is ordained by God. Marriage is an institution that was introduced to us through the Creator. Okay? And he spoke of the different positions, the different roles, and what was to go on. Okay? This is not a law. The court has no place in saying who pays money and who does what. And if they are, then they're going to have to err on the side of the child. Okay? We know that when there was no way to put formula in cans or however we doing it now, And the only way to get it was through the breast milk, that they either got it through the wet slave, the wet nurse slave, okay, or the white woman herself would suckle her baby, and mothers would suckle their babies. All right? That is no longer necessary. All right? So there is no need for us to continue saying that the baby needs its mother. The baby needs its parent. Okay? And all medical fact, Google, everybody that's of knowledge say that if you want good people, give them to the father. Give the children to the father. All right? So we know who's benefiting. Them old dirty ass judges, them old dirty ass police, them old dirty ass lawmakers. All right? We know who's profiting. All right? The super rich who have these jobs where they only want to pay somebody $7 or $8 an hour to work $8, $9, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You realize if you make $8 an hour and you work 8 hours a day, that's just $64. At that point, crime does pay. You understand? So when we see who all is benefiting from this, we understand how this is how they are controlling us and our societies, is that they have deliberately made a broken family structure at a time of weakness with people. They come in a divorce, they victimize the father in the divorce, strip him of all of his rights, okay, when the only offense he probably has committed is against the wife, but they're going to punish him with the children. All right? That's not right. That's not law. We need to stand up. We need to get this conversation going. All over America, fathers, this is 2023. All right? Let's stand up. Let's fight for our rights as fathers. Okay? Let's fight to get it established that when the mother and the father separate, the male child goes with the father. This is common sense. And in cases where it would be better off, the female child will go with the father. Let me explain something to you. There is no business in the world that starts out in existence and continues to stay the way that it was. Sears used to sell cocaine. They don't do that no more. You know, there was places that used to advertise, whites only. They don't do that no more. Aunt Jemima even changed. Everybody tweaked their business model. Everybody improved upon their system. Slavery ended. The right to vote came. All of these things evolved. You understand? It's time for child support to evolve. It's time for child support to take the war off men. Okay? To stop waging a war on fathers. All right? And start to restore fathers' rights. Start to respect fathers' rights. All right? Because without fathers, we're going to continue to have broken societies. Without fathers, we're going to continue to have overrun jail cells. Without active fathers, we're going to continue to have, the path to the graveyard, all right, wide, the road being wide. These ladies are standing over their dead sons and screaming and hollering because the state has relinquished the fathers of all responsibility. There's no reason why a man can't meet a lady and say, I have my 2 sons with me from my previous relationship. Lady's not going to have a problem with him. Child support knows what type of society we would be if we allow fathers to be in charge of their sons. The police department knows what type of society we would be if we allow fathers to be in charge of their sons. The lawmakers know what type of society we would have if we changed the rules and made fathers the primary custodial parent for their child. The governor knows. Everybody knows. The men in jail know. They'll tell you their life would have been different if they would have had their father in their life. This is a glaring problem that is sitting in front of all of our faces. Okay, please join forces with me. Help me. Sign a petition saying that we want to rediscuss the way children are dispersed in the event that a father and a mother separate. I don't care if she moves to another state. When that child is born, the father is authorized to be at the hospital, and when it's time for that baby to go home, to transport that baby to his home. So if y'all here in Louisiana, and she decide to go to Texas, you politely be able to go to Texas and get that baby and bring it on back to Louisiana. That's why we need this federal. That's why we need this conversation in all 50 states. That's why we have to come up with a uniform set of rules on fatherhood with sons. And since they have given it a good 60, 70-year concerted effort to remove us from the home, if not more, we need that same type of effort instilled into replacing the image of the father, repairing the image of the father. Okay? Now, I'm going to leave you with this. The Germans were so bold that they kept record, first, last name, everything of the Jews, of the German Jews that they murdered. America is so arrogant, they keep a record of all of the fathers' lives that they're destroying, all of the children that they're destroying. And when Judgment Day comes to this situation, and it will, they're going to make movies about this era from the 70s to whenever child support was reined in, on how this one institution was able to demoralize, debaucherize, and just turn American society on its heels by removing the father from the home and putting a concerted effort to fight against him, to remove him from the home. I pray that when we finally topple child support, when we finally topple the courts and all of the institutions that are benefiting and are instigating this situation, and we restore things back to its natural order, I pray that we put the emphasis on it that it deserves so it can never be approached again. When you remove the father from the home, you take the moral values from a country. When you remove the father from a home, you strip a neighborhood of its pride, of its identity. You strip generations of people of pride, integrity, of all type of things that it takes to make a great society. So I'm asking, this is 2023. Please like, share, subscribe. Share this conversation with somebody. Tell people about me. Let's come together. Let's get enough names together so that we can kill child support. Let's get enough names signed together, both men and women, so that the Attorney General can never, ever be involved in marriage and divorce again. Let's remove the power from child support and the courts and all these other entities to be able to wage war on one parent against another parent ever again in society. Let's win our families back. Men, stand up. Unite with me. This is our civil rights movement of our time. Fatherhood. If we don't get this right, our cities are going to burn. If we don't get this right, you think mothers were standing over their dead children. And let me tell you something. While they're busy sowing vice to us, they have mastered how to freeze embryos. That's before it gets to be a fetus. Okay? So they're going to have selective birth for them, for the rich and powerful and famous. You better look into it. Okay? There are people that are benefiting from a good portion of America operating from a broken family structure. And that is giving them more than generational riches, more than generational wealth. And they still so greedy that they still want to prosper. Please. I don't know how it is in other cultures because I don't live in other cultures. Black ladies, black men, if you're interested in being a father, knowing what being a father is all about, if you're interested in us having good, decent communities, if you're interested in us turning out another Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., if you're interested in us going back to being great inventors and great scientists, great doctors, discovering all types of new things, if you want us to reach these heights that we used to reach, we must restore the Father back into his rightful role of kingship. We must give the Father authority over his sons. Hallelujah. Please, ministers, y'all know I'm telling the truth. How you standing in front of that congregation and you know I'm telling the truth? You're not trying to get me there to unite the people. If you don't get me there, just bring the conversation up. Thus said the Lord. Explain it. Take some of the hardness off these people's heart. It has to start somewhere. Okay? If we don't start, we will never start to make responsible men. Everybody have a calling in this life. I was put here to turn boys into men. And that's what I've been doing my whole life. Young men will tell you, even when I was a senior in high school, I was organizing elementary school boys and having them playing sports. Everybody who know me will tell you this about me. Okay? This is a lifelong obsession of mine. And I'm going to fight this fight until it's either won or I close my eyes. So until the next community conversation, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to me. Please, let's help me fight to reestablish fatherhood. This has been Papa G saying, peace.